Okay guys, for chapter 10, I'm going to kind of just show you how I built mine. It's totally redesigned compared to the original that you can see on the assignment page where you can click on the book example. But when you use the book example, when you download the original files, it kind of gives you an error because it was created in an earlier version of Flash. So what you need to do is you need to create your own Swift that you will load into your main project file. So all the animation is not actually in the main project file. You actually will have two. Now I made mine complicated just because I like to design stuff, and so I like to make them as creative as possible, and also just so that I can really get the feel for it. So you can make yours simple like it has in the book example. You just need to do some kind of text animation where it has, travel come in and then I think New York or whatnot. So let's go ahead and see what is happening here. We've got the clouds that move through, and when I click specials, we should have an animation load, and this is a separate Swift itself that is loaded into this Swift that says round trip Denver to London, whatnot, so you can pick whatever your destination is. And then this weather button is supposed to take us to this actual weather, national weather channel, okay? So weather.com. So what I have here is I have my original sample or chapter 10.fla. So remember, yours is your last name dash chapter 10, whatever. The HTML in the Swift file, because remember you're supposed to be publishing the HTML in Swift every time. And then I have my AI file where I kind of created all of these items. And then I have a separate file called airplane.fla. So let's kind of see what's happening here. Let's kind of move that out of our way. So what we have happening here is I just have one frame. I have the weather button, and if I go inside the weather button, we see the over and down states, okay? And then if I come back out, same thing for the specials button. My action is on frame 1. Let's make this a little bit bigger. And then I have my background, which is blue, and then I have the clouds movie clip. Now, the clouds are moving, but as you can see, I don't have any animation on the main timeline. That's because the clouds are an actual movie clip. So if we move here, we have this rotate clouds, and I don't know why I called it rotate. But anyway, inside of this movie clip, as you can see, I have clouds flying by. So incidentally, even in games, if you did a game animation or a game app or whatnot, when you want to have, a character or whatnot look like they're moving through something, it's usually the character's moving, but at the same time that background is moving and it's super long and it's moving along. So anyway, this is just a left and right animation, and it's super long so that it really has a good pace with my frame rate without kind of looking choppy. So what does it actually do? Because we're not seeing kind of where that airplane is. There's no actual layer here for that airplane. So when I click specials, what happens? Well, what happens is I have a loader that is going to load when the specials button is clicked. It's going to load the airplane.swf, so the airplane.swift. So I need to have that airplane.swift in my project folder file, which incidentally, when you turn in your project to me, you should have the original Flash file for this one and the original Flash file for your specials animation, and then you should have the Swift for both, because otherwise it's not going to work for me. So just like I showed you all the files that I had in mine, you need to send me all of these files in one zip folder, okay? So now in the book, it asks you to load specials.swift, and I just called mine airplane.swift, so that doesn't really matter. You just, whatever you name it, that's what it's going to be. So what I have in here is I have an actions layer, and then I have an airplane, and this is a movie clip, and it just moves in from the left to the right. Well, again, where the heck is all this text coming from? Well, it's a movie clip, so remember it has an internal animation. And so what is on there? Well, it's still not showing anything, but it actually has the movie clip text, so that's on top of it. And so if I go in here, see how it has, I was just bouncing the banner around, so that's the banner. And then if I go to the plane, I had the little fan blade moving, so it looked like it was moving around. And then if I click back out, if I go to this MC text, Let's see if you can see it. See how it fades in and it is going to fade out. Stay for a while so we can read it, then it's going to fade out. Then this one fades in, and I don't have a stop script, so it just automatically loops. And that's inside of the movie clip on the banner. So anyway, once I finish that animation, again, yours can be super simple. You can have, travel or special or this month's special, how it did the wave animation in the original, or you can have it drop down, or you can have it pulse in, or you can have it kind of fade in and then wiggle a little bit. So you can do something a little bit more simplified, but I like to always challenge myself. So that is where this kind of came from. I wanted to see if I could create a plane with a banner and then make it look like the plane is actually flying. So anyway, once you create this file, you save the Flash file, make sure you publish so that you get the SWF and the HTML. And then back here, that's what you're going to do, is you're going to say when this button is clicked, it's going to load that SWF file that you just created. And that has to be in the exact same folder that this project is in. So that is how this was kind of made. And it goes over all that stuff in chapter 10. So make sure that you do those exercises and then build accordingly. So hopefully this helps you to see how it was built. Again, you can keep yours really simple, but you are creating two separate projects, two separate SWFs, and you're going to load one SWF, the special SWF, or like mine is called the airplane SWF, into this one. It really helps with load time because it doesn't have to load the whole thing. It only has to load it if somebody clicks on special. So if they don't click on specials, it's not going to slow down their computer or whatnot.